Welcome back to Footballology. So up next we have the Arizona Cardinals for their offseason grade. Having a guy like Kyler Murray going into his second year, you definitely want to give him an opportunity to have some level of success. And going out to get a guy like D Hop on a trade that it makes sense, but it didn't make sense. It still blows my mind a little bit because I feel like they could have got a little bit more in return. Just saying, I don't know. But talking about the Houston Texans could have got more in return. But the Arizona Cardinals got everything they needed out of D Hop and some. He was definitely that number one threat that they were really needing and wanting. And then having a guy like Kenyon Drake at the running back position, even though he was kind of in and out of the lineup, he still gave them some quality snaps. Chase Edmonds was a guy that I would like to see more of, especially going into the 2021 season. So I'm really excited to see what he can possibly do. And then offensive line wise, they were okay. No, they wasn't. I'm gonna say they're the top tier. Maybe they were. I don't know. I don't look at Pro Football Focus, so I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna try to correct me. But whatever. But I feel like the offensive line play can definitely use some level of improvement. So it'd be really interesting to see what they do there. And then going to the defense side of the ball, losing a guy like Chandler Jones definitely hurt their sack production ultimately. But a guy like Hassan Reddick definitely found his home. He found an opportunity to be that guy again because with Hassan Reddick, a lot of people are getting ready to label him as a bust, and that wasn't the case at all. Devondre Campbell was a guy that gave them quality middle linebacker play. I think personally he was decent when he was in Atlanta, and he only got better when he went to Arizona. Jordan Hicks was another inside linebacker who gave them some quality play as well. So they had some strides in the right direction. And like I said, this is in the middle of a rebuild. This is year two, in my personal opinion, of a rebuild. Coming off of a rebuild, like it wasn't even like a rebuild. I don't know if we can call it Josh Rosen and Steve Wilkes thing a rebuild. Like that was a sleepover. That's what that was. I don't know what that was. And so this Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray rebuild, they were year two, and for them to go in year two and do what they did, they looked decent. And they were taking the right strides in the right direction. So I'm really interested to see how they go and progress into 2021. So now when we get into the free agency period, I think the most crazy, most blockbuster deal was the JJ Watt signing. Bringing in JJ Watt definitely made sense. They needed that front pressure, especially along the defensive line. It wasn't so much as the linebacker position; it was just the defensive line because you got Chandler Jones coming back, and that's going to be really impactful on what he can able to do on one side of the defense, while JJ Watt create havoc on the other side of the defense. Giving AJ Green a 1 year prove it deal, I think makes the most sense because we don't know what AJ Green is anymore. And not saying he's bad because I feel like he could still be a number one wide receiver. So if AJ Green comes out and puts up quality number one wide receiver numbers while not being the number one primary target, oh, you win there. And it's just for 1 year. And then if you're not stuck to him because he didn't do too much, all right, cool, let him go and kick him to the curb. But if he comes out and he plays really well, then so be it. Getting Matt Prater on a 2 year deal, getting that kicking game, hey, kicking game matters. Like it matters. It plays its role. Malcolm Butler, a cornerback, losing Patrick Peterson only makes sense. Or losing Patrick Peterson only makes sense to sign Malcolm Butler. I definitely have that plays its role as well. Chris Banjo at the safety position. I didn't mention this. I didn't mention this in the opening, but Buda Baker, can we like he had a quality A1 season for them at the safety position. So I'm really interested to see how he goes for after building off that one good season. So let's see if he can do something with that. Cole McCoy at depth at the quarterback position. James Conner, once again, like I said, I want to see more Chase Edmonds going into the season with Kenyon Drake not being there anymore. So hopefully James Conner doesn't, he just becomes a change of pace guy. But I feel like Edmonds should get more snaps this season, in my personal opinion. As an Arizona fan, let me know what you think. And then moving down, Ross Travis and that. Oh, I'm not gonna get the Quest Denard. I can't do that. That's not fair because that's outside of May. But we're gonna talk about the Ross Travis tight end. They signed several tight ends, so I think they're still hurting at the tight end position. They're still trying to find. I don't know if that's a receiving threat because I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't know what to expect from a Cliff Kingsbury system, but from what I can see and for what I understand, it's more or less a lot of attacking on the outside. So the tight end doesn't seem like it plays that big of a role in the system. So I don't know. They went out and they were really aggressive in signing several tight ends. I think they signed two to be exact. So yeah, I see two tight ends. So they signed two tight ends. So I don't know what that means necessarily. I don't know if they're looking for more receiving options or what the case may be. Like I said, I'm not sure what to expect from Cliff Kingsbury just yet. I need to watch more Arizona just to really understand what he wants. But I love this free agency period. Even though it has names to it, it has a purpose behind it as well. taking a look at the Arizona Cardinals draft class, starting out with Zaven Collins, everybody had him going in the first round, and I think it was a quality pick at 16. You can only get better, I think, adding a guy like Zaven Collins to your defense. Losing Devondre Campbell to Green Bay, now all of a sudden you have Collins, and hopefully Isaiah Simmons take that next level, next step in his development. Then at that point, that you have two, like Cliff Kingsbury came out and said, we have two trees in the middle of our defense, and that's going to be really hard to pass over when you're trying to do some of those slants and crossers and things of that nature. Or even if you send those guys on blitzes, because Collins can get after the quarterback a little bit. Not like edge rushing getting after the quarterback, but he definitely can get after the quarterback a little bit. And so then you can also send Simmons. You still got Jordan Hicks in the middle of the defense. You get Chandler Jones back. So the linebacking core got so much better with just one pick alone. And then moving on to round number two with Rondell Moore. Now with Rondell Moore, I don't hate the pick. I don't. I like it. I'm just not in love with it. If that makes any sense at all. Because the thing is, yeah, we all know Rondell Moore is fast. The thing is that you have Andy Isabella that's currently on roster, and that's a guy that probably can give you the same things as Moore could. So using a second round pick on him just didn't sit right with me a little bit. But let's call it what it is. If Moore comes out and he actually starts to play to that level and that speed, everybody wants to say it, but I don't want to say it. I feel dirty for saying it, but if he plays to that level and speed of Tyreek Hill, then yes, it's a steal all day, every day. You didn't use a first round pick on a speed receiver. You end up getting a speed guy who can give you some gadgets, who also becomes a factor in a return game. You have two quality returners, and then whoever wins out wins out. Let the best man win. And I think Rondell Moore definitely sets you up for the future too, and could possibly be something more. So like I said, I don't I don't hate it. I'm not in love with it, but I understand it and I like it a little bit because it wasn't a first round pick on a speed guy. Like that's the one thing I like it. And then the other pick that really stood out to me was Victor Dimukeji, dude from Duke, pass rusher. Once again, losing Chandler Jones last year definitely left a void there. And so again, a guy like Victor, who I felt like they could probably go higher than the sixth round, in my personal opinion, can definitely give them some speed and athleticism off the edge and be that pass rusher that they need next to Chandler Jones. So hopefully he gets some looks. I'm not saying he's going to start right away, but definitely going to give him some looks, give them some opportunity from that pass rushing position. One other guy I want to talk about is James Wiggins from Cincinnati. Now he is a safety, and I don't know if he's going to start right away, but he definitely is probably going to contribute a little bit on special teams because that's how all defenders start out. But for the most part, I feel like he can add some speed and athleticism to the secondary. Not saying that they don't have any already, but definitely he's going to create some level of competition there. And he was the guy that kind of stood out to me when I was going over their draft board or over their draft picks. Because with Wiggins, like I said, this secondary and losing a guy like Patrick Peterson and things of that nature and losing some other pieces back there, you definitely want to try to create some level of competition so that way you're starting the best guy available. So James Wiggins, not saying he's going to start right away, but he was a guy that definitely stood out to me when I was going over their draft picks. With all that being said, I got to give the Arizona Cardinals a C. And the reason for that is because I'm not sure where JJ Watt is anymore. I'm not sure where AJ Green is anymore. Malcolm Butler was a good pickup. I'll give you guys that. But I'm not sure what this offensive line is going to look like for the Arizona Cardinals. Is it going to get better in a division that has some ferocious defensive lines? Did this offensive line for Arizona get better? Granted, you have a mobile quarterback, and I know the perfect perfume for a struggling offensive line is a mobile quarterback. I get that. But you guys want to pass as much as Cliff Kingsbury, as much as I think he wants to pass. You need a little bit stouter. You need to be a little bit more stouter up front, in my opinion. My personal opinion. I could be wrong. Like I said, I could be wrong about all of this. Hopefully, I am. And then defensively, I'm not sure what to expect from the secondary. A lot of new faces, and just I'm not sure if the Arizona Cardinals took this offseason as serious as they needed to going into year three of this rebuild. Getting Rondell Moore, like I said, liked it, but I'm not in love with it. Could have done something better with the pick for sure. Defensively, they on paper they look strong defensively, but it's just too many question marks. Like I said, you go into off season with a lot of question marks of what are we, who are we, and how can we get better. And I'm not sure if they answered any of those questions. Did they get better on paper? Yes, but are they better? I'm not sure. I'm it's too much uncertainty with this team to say they deserve an A or a B or anything like that. I feel like a C is a solid, strong grade for their offseason, and I feel like that's what they deserve. If you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Did they deserve higher? Did you agree with it? Is there a transaction that you feel like that I didn't give enough credit to? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll definitely want to hear from you guys. And I can't wait to hear from you guys. And if you're not a footballologist yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go and hit that subscribe button today, become a footballologist, and stay safe, football fans.